just racists and Nazis. Fuck that.
Great way to come in when it's just racists and
Whoa, shit.
Nazis. Fuck that. What a way to start.
Yep.
Hello, this is Dirty 20 Gaming. It's okay. I stand behind that remark, even though I didn't make it. I repeated it and I stand behind it. But this is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and we've got half a crew tonight, so let's get to it. The artwork tonight is done primarily using Hero Forge, except for Jason, who isn't here. So look at their pretty token face. Yeah, we'll move on. There's only two of them tonight, so we're going to do something a little bit different because both of them have agreed, like the mad buggers that they are, that they would like to run a game. Not only run a game, but stream the running of a game here on Dirty 20 Gaming in our near-ish future. So we're going to get them to tell us a little bit about the games that they're running. Let's start with, because I never go first with you, na 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 Bad Kyle.
All right. There was a sufficient number of Nas.
Yes.
I am the Bad
Always very
Kyle.
careful.
I will be running the last hurrah of Honest John Rackham, a Deadlands Reloaded heist game with our wonderful Kevin and Sans, Hellhounds, Mudkip, and Shadow. That will be on November 22nd, starting as a one-shot. We'll see what happens from there. Really looking forward to it. I hope you'll be there. It will be chaos.
Yes, it will. Oh, and there's riots in chat and belated riots. It looks so cozy. That's because it's cold. There, by the end of tonight, I'm expecting to be able to see the snow in my window, and my window's about that far off the ground. So, yeah, we're getting thumped tonight, and it's chilly. So yes, thank you. Other than that, also riots, belated rioters. You're never on the news. You're half a block behind for the whole riot. Oh man, do better next time. Up at the front. Get on the news. Wear a shirt, something offensive on it. Am I quieter than normal? I can fix that too. I may well be. I'm always worried about being too loud, so I turned it down some more. Hopefully that fixed it. All right. Next, we have our very own Bison _ Stonefist. What are you running for us?
Okay, so you know that new show on Netflix, Cyberpunk Edge Runners? Have you ever wanted to run the no-name great value version of that? That'll be me. I'll be running my first campaign of Cyberpunk Red called Carnage Heights, where 5 assholes try to protect an apartment building. We will be playing with, we will have Roosbar. We'll be playing, most likely as some variation of Moose.
Yes.
Kevin will be playing. We will also have both Ruth and Sans from The World at Large will be playing with us, and also a newcomer named Brill, who I also have not officially met. We've talked on Discord, but I haven't met them yet. It'll be fun.
Oh yeah, I love those people. And then they finally see them and say, "Oh hey, how you doing? It's nice to meet you." I guess kind of. We've had long conversations, but this is the first time I know you're real. So yes, I've upped the volumes all around. Hopefully that's fixed everything. Let's, as they say, get to it. We finished last week with all 4 of you getting to your doors of your abodes. So let's start this week with feedback. You arrive home to find that you're locked out. The the code has been changed. I mean, it's as simple as resetting a password. All you'd have to do is take out your phone and do the thingy, the 2FA, and you'd be back in. But you are locked out.
Well, first thing I'm going to check to see if the landlord skipped town, because that's happened before.
Okay, which leads me to the first question: apartment block, house, pod. what is feedback's
feedback
level?
Definitely lives in a old brick and mortar apartment building in a really shitty part of town.
Okay,
the kind that hears more gunshots than car horns.
Even with all the loot that you've made?
Even with all the loot that he's made, he likes to keep a low profile.
Okay.
And nobody asks questions about power drain when he's the only person in the building.
Sure, yes. Maybe he's
Just, the
welding
landlord
again.
likes to,
Yeah.
the landlord just likes to not, tries to scam him out because he knows there's a lot of money behind that room. He just doesn't
Yeah.
know what's in it.
He doesn't know what it's in it. But the lock has been changed. Not physically, but the thing has been changed. What do you do?
He clucks his tongue, pulls out the skeleton that he's got. Kind of, it looks like about a half-inch wide needle,
Okay.
and the last it's about yay long.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shiv,
Yeah.
and he spikes that into the spot behind
Yeah.
because that's his key under the mat
Yep.
kind of thing, to just basically reset and change the code to 1111.
Okay. So yeah, and you. I'm an old man, and I just bought better headphones. That was my answer. But yeah, it does reset, but there's actually give me a this is sort of those one of those recon rules that we've sort of made canon
Mm-hmm.
in this, just because there's a tiny delay. It doesn't work quite like it should. So just give me 3 dice to see if you can. Sorry, you saw it happen. Let's see if you can posit a theory.
2, 3, 4.
2, 3,
No.
4. Something happened, but you're not sure what it was. But your door's unlocked and the password's 111111111, however many ones. Yeah.
Before entering the apartment, he's going to quickly check the data slate and ask himself if he has a connection to the server, because
Yep.
this close there would be Wi-Fi.
Oh, absolutely. And the response you get back, yep. But
Everything okay in there?
that depends on how you define okay. Open the door.
Fuck. Pulls out his gun.
Yeah.
Opens the door.
You open the door, and inside, what is your apartment sort of on a cleanliness and like sort of organizational level? What does Feedback's apartment look like?
Feedback's apartment is Spartan.
Mm-hmm.
There's very little in it. In terms of actual furniture, we'll say.
Yeah.
There's a vid screen, and as you walk in, you'd see a vid screen, a couch, a stack of boxes that are labeled junk A, kind of useful junk.
Yeah.
And it's all chipsets and stuff.
Perfect.
The couple of magazines leading on the table leading into the bathroom. That's really about it.
That's what was in there. When you open the door now, everything inside is spotless and perfectly placed. Every one of those boxes has been opened, and every item in them is on a shelf or a table or in the light in the window or wherever. It looks like it's waiting for a photo shoot. Everything you own is here. Nothing's been stolen, but everything has been cleaned, sorted, and placed with great care.
What the
It must have taken hours. The floor is spotless. It wasn't this clean. Like, you couldn't steam clean it this clean. It's just, it looks like a photograph of your room. From the door, yeah, you look in again. There's only one thing in there that's new. On that coffee table, where the magazines are now in a perfect spread, so you can read the titles. It's that good, right?
The real estate agent spread.
The one of your glasses from the kitchen, one of the nice ones. It's probably the only nice one. It's probably not part of a set. I'm thinking this is Feedback, right? It is in the middle of that table with a single thin, dark branch coming up out of it. And on that branch are 6 cherry blossoms. The draft that you just created by the door opening is enough to make those little blossoms just waffle in the wind, and one little petal falls down onto the table. You can see the closed door to your bedroom. I don't know if you usually keep it closed or open, but it's closed.
Yeah. That's the one with all the security behind it.
Yeah.
'Cause that's
Oh,
the server room.
in that case, it's open.
Yeah.
You can't see in from here, but it's open.
Okay. Finds a safe out of the way spot to hide the data slab.
Yeah.
And he sort of makes his way over. It's like shit. Where's fucking Moose when you need him? And the second he gets to the archway of the door, he sort of reaches in and hits the light because he knows where it is.
Yep, absolutely. The light comes on. It's the same in here. Everything you own, all your clothes are organized, folded, put away, dusted. The duvet has been fluffed, and artfully stacked cushions that you forgot you owned frame your pillow.
I wonder where that one went.
From the center of that pillow juts the handle of a simple black dagger. It's pressed in like somebody has stabbed the pillow through it into the bed. What do you do?
Check corners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a perception-y kind of check.
Am I percepticating? That is not this character.
No.
Mr. Box is perceptive. 4 and a 1. I do not see it.
Yeah, you quickly look around and you see nothing. There's certainly no one in here. There's no, I mean, you know this place. You'd be able to feel it if there was somebody in here. This place is so clean. You can't even though your eyes tell you, you still can't feel that someone was in here. There's no scent of aftershave. There's no cigarette smell. There's no smell that isn't you.
Well,
in fact, there's hardly even the smell of you. It's fucking clean.
He heads to the. He goes back and retrieves the slab.
Yeah.
And goes back to the mainframe. Punches him in. He's like, "Cameras now." And he's like, you don't see it, but he's trembling a little bit.
The
he doesn't like his privacy being messed with.
You see the slab light up as soon as you plug in. It does that thing where it just kind of goes into competent mode, and it's so good. Even though it's kind of you, it's like watching a much better you do something, and it's just in the system and flying. You see it activating all kinds of cameras and scans the entire building past and forward. There is a gap, a space in time where each camera just goes off from the front door, up the stairs, into your apartment, out of your apartment, down the stairs, out the door. It's just been excised. There's no memory. Like, it's not like, oh, when stuff gets it's not in the bin. It's gone.
That that Twitch becomes very visible now, and he's now checking cameras outside the building. He's checking his cameras that are like 3 blocks away.
Yep.
There's no cross traffic.
It's spaces, it's holes in time until you get to the entrance of the nearest underground. And after that, it's just a mass of people. There's no way to tell. This was hyper pro mode.
Oh, he's not happy. He's very much not happy. He rings up the other 3. Like, it's just group call. And feedback doesn't initiate group calls because group calls can be traced.
Yeah. Well, it turns out this one can't be traced because your phone's dead. It's never dead. Like, you look at it hasn't even got enough to turn on to tell you it's dead. It's like it's been EMP'd.
He's now thinking when it happened. When
you cross the threshold,
likely.
you can in your head, you can sort of process that's about when it would have happened. Plug your phone in. Yeah.
Right.
At that moment, the slab says, sends you a message. It says, spider search question mark, and you know what it's asking if you want to send out the like spider sized bots to scan your apartment like you would do to recon a place before you broke in.
He's like 100%, just like, yeah.
It's and a counter comes up and it says 1 hour, and it clicks down to 59, 59, 59, 58. It starts to click
Yeah.
down. What do you do for that hour? Because you know if you move around, you're gonna fuck. Like if you move around too much, you'll fuck this up.
Feedback's gonna, like, he's gonna pace for a fair bit.
Yep.
Like, but once the adrenaline kind of starts to wear off,
Yeah.
he goes into the kitchen, grabs a beer from the fridge.
Fridge is organized. Like the beer, the
Jeez.
labels on the beers are all pointed in exactly the same direction. Not only that, you realize as you reach in, they've been sorted because there's a couple different, there's a couple different buys there. They've been sorted by date.
He takes one from the middle, just out of spite. Checks the seal.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Gloriosa, they're a work of fiction. They don't exist. Stop begging.
He checks the seal, makes sure it hasn't been tampered with.
Yep.
Then he sits down and he waits.
It's been cleaned. It's been recently, like you can smell the lemon on it. It's been wiped with a wet wipe, which isn't here, and your garbage has been taken out. As you discover this, right?
Yeah. He's now developed a twitch, and he's got synthetic eyes, and he's developed a twitch. So yeah, he sits there and he's watching the clock go down. He's sitting in his living room, like through the doorway.
Oh, and just
the
longest hour, because you know what's happening. First, it's got to build these little bots out of the nanos. And then they've got to go out on these missions. I mean, there's only so many places in your house they can get built, and they're tiny. It takes them forever. But at the end of about 45 minutes, you don't have to wait the whole hour. The first little, it's like when you run a virus check, the little flashing light comes up. It's like first problem found, and it's this little flashing orange light. And the question mark, like, do you want to click on it?
Oh, yeah, fine. He doesn't want to see the answer.
But you see this weird, it takes a second because it's projecting on a screen in front of you, but it's a fisheye view from underneath your bed. And you can see the dagger comes through because your bed's sort of a foam slab, right? With the pillows
it's not great. This is not foam top.
The dagger goes all the way through the pillow, through the bed, and then you can see the tip of the dagger is embedded in a block of explosives with a trigger on the tip. So if you pull the dagger,
little cocksuckers,
there will be, and it takes a couple more seconds. You can see the scan at the bottom, the spikes building on the scan. This will take down not just you, but this entire apartment building. It'll kill everybody in this building if it goes off.
I'll accept the assassination attempt, but Mrs. Stravinsky cannot be touched.
Yep.
She makes cookies on Saturdays. Come on.
See, do you still want them, Blaze? They're a psycho that puts bombs under your bed. They clean your house perfectly, but if you move anything, it all blows up. So, how do you respond to the bomb under the bed? Literally a bomb under the bed.
Feedback's like, this is not something I know how to hack. Explosives? No, that's not my purview. Yep. So he locks everything up, tells the bots to, continue scanning and, do a double check kind of thing, because he's going to be out for a while. Makes his way down the stairs.
The slab, actually, just before you leave, the slab asks, convert to inert, and it says 10 hours, runtime 10 hours, question mark.
Yeah. Referring to the explosive.
It's the brick in the image is flashing.
Yeah.
It's basically return, eat it and poop out carbon.
Yeah. returns, be careful with it.
The slab
take-
gives you the 16-bit equivalent of like, who are you talking to? Right?
Well, no problem. It's just my entire fucking personality on a goddamn
Yeah.
computer. No, it's no big deal. Do whatever you
It
want.
prints up.
Just
I
he's
have to
muttering.
stay here to do it. I will not fuck this up.
Yeah, and he's just sort of complaining on the way. It's like, fine, you know, my entire personality on a fucking computer, you know, just
So
do whatever you want.
You're literally gonna go for like a 10-hour coffee down at the donut shop. Well, this place. What are you doing for that 10 hours? Yeah.
Well, the first thing he does, he heads down while he's kvetching, and heads to a payphone outside. He knows it never gets used, so it's never been tapped.
Yeah.
It's too old.
Yeah.
And he rings up Jet.
Yeah.
And if Jet answers before he does anything with whatever he gets as a present, it's going to be whatever's been added, don't touch it. It's a bomb.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's just
added.
a message, right? Like a text message says whatever's happened, don't touch it. It's a bomb. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Jet. Just as where do you live? House, apartment?
Jet. Kind of a bunker.
Okay,
More than anything, yes. He's got the bunker / garage thing going on. Hardened walls, a lot more underground than it is above ground. Hardened under there as well. Trapped to all shit.
Yep.
Because he's an engineer, and sometimes when he gets bored, he just finds new ways to kill somebody who tries to get into his house.
Yes. So when you get home and get to the door, I'm assuming there's sort of a heavy sealed outer door.
Yes.
Okay. So you do the beep boop boop beep boop boop boop, and that opens up. And just inside that door, inside the frame, is taped plastic sheeting, that really thin stuff that you put in when you're doing like painting or fumigating, stuff like that. And it's bulging towards you slightly under pressure. There's a tiny little hole in it.
Chunk. Nope.
You can smell propane. Yeah.
Chunk.
Just close the door. Yeah.
Close the door again. All right. So Jet's going to ponder for a minute. And then he is going to initiate biohazard protocols. Going to vent the whole place. Then he's going to start activating his internal cameras.
Yeah.
Maybe release, assuming that they're, something wasn't done to them, release his own his bigger sonar spiders.
Yeah.
To map and make sure nothing is terribly out of place. And he swears to fucking God, if anybody moved his spanner, everything is exactly where it should be in the shop. Everything. He's on place.
Yeah.
For tools.
You start the process. You start to vent, just immediate vent evac. By the time the spiders get in there, you can see there's 2 propane tanks sitting on the floor, just cranked open, just inside the door. They've just done that and then done the door, and that's it. It is venting. It's going to take some time. On the table, one of your little robots can see in the visual a tablet, and it does that. The title of an app pops up, and it says voice app, and you hear in a voice similar, not exactly like yours, but similar, said, "Siri, bake pie." And you hear Siri in your room respond with, "Turning oven on in 1 minute."
All right. Gonna activate a spider. Siri, turn off, ignore all orders until manually restarted.
Siri says, "Shutting down. Why do you hate me, Hal?" And it makes the sound of a computer shutting down.
You know why I hate you.
Yeah.
You can only get cold showered so many times by a vengeful fucking AI. All right, so Still venting.
Yep, the air is. I mean, over now that you've stopped that, the ignition source, it vents and vents and vents, and eventually you hear on the other side of the door that sort of punk as the positive pressure turns into negative pressure, as the venting is now happening enough so that there's a pressure the other way on that plastic.
All right. Well, I'm going to check my meters, see how long that's likely to take.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to probably maybe at this point receive the message from feedback, or is it still going to be a little while? Because I
There's
handle
an
this
hour
pretty
difference,
quickly.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
yours
I
was
handle this
way
pretty
quicker. So
quickly.
yeah, I was just gonna say sort of about an yeah. So let's get What is your plan after the venting is complete? Your robots are reporting clean, fresh air inside.
Clean fresh air. All right. I'm gonna make sure they've mapped everything, see what else is out of place.
The only thing is the propane tanks, and they've
Okay.
now run empty.
So then we're going to run a chemical analysis of the air. We're looking for any sort of explosives, incendiary devices, even chemicals that could be combined.
There is nothing left other than clearly the what you determine is it's more math than anything else. Is that the 2 bottles of propane would have created almost the perfect gas air mixture in your room to be that perfect ignition point where it would have taken nothing more than your stove turning on to blow, and it would have
Veal
been like
8%.
an explosion in a safe. Like, I don't know what would have happened to what you had in there, because it just, like, there's no place for it to go.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. His shit would have been wrecked, and one of the doors probably would have popped off with enough force to lodge it into, you know, 5
Something on the
different
other.
apartment buildings
I was going to
Yeah.
before it
say
stopped.
yeah.
the Renraku building downtown.
Everything is just, what was that? Oops.
All right. Well,
So
now
yeah.
Jet's really, really angry because trying to kill him, that happens in the business. That's the
Mhm.
thing. But fucking with his workshop.
Yep.
Your spanner's been moved 1 peg.
No, it hasn't. I wish it had, but I'm not. They don't know you that well.
Okay.
I love that, but yeah, I figured just putting stuff in your workshop would be annoying.
Yep. Once that's done, we're gonna go ahead and have one of the bigger bots inside carefully, carefully pick up that little pad,
Yeah.
wrap it in lead, or
Mhm.
put it in one of the in lead casing, then put that inside one of the heavily shielded safes,
Yep.
and then Jet is going to want go into his house, tear down that fucking plastic right away. Just
Son of a bitch. And then that took quite a while. So just at the end of that, just as the plastic rips down, your phone goes bzz, 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 and you look down and get the "don't touch anything, it'll explode" message.
Well, I don't recognize the number, but there are only a couple people who could actually reach me through this directly. So it's gonna be like, yeah, my house didn't blow up. Hopefully yours didn't. And just send it back to whatever that number is.
Yeah.
And now we're going to do the 2 that aren't here. The 2 unsuccessful ones because they're not here. We're going to do Jason first. Jason gets home and opens their front door and notices immediately that someone's been in here. Like, when they're exactly the rat nest opposite of the organized person, right? This place is just, everything's in its place, but its place is piled on top of something and under something else. But somebody has been in here and they know it. Specifically because somebody used their gear and their tools to create a terrible thing. An ancient ring light has been meticulously wrapped in copper wire. Tens of thousands of wraps. And in the center, a rare earth magnet hangs in a suspended frame. The whole thing is mounted on gimbals, and a laser shows in the fine dust left in the room. And it moves when Jason does, targeting the bead. No matter where they go in the room. They start to back out of the room, and the whole thing starts to go and charge up, and they realize this is an EMP generator. Step back forward, it goes down. If this goes off, pointed at them, they're a brick. They're a small aluminum ball that's going to fall to the floor and only be useful to kittens from this point on. There is a memory backup, but it would have to be reloaded and they'd have missed the last sort of 12 hours. So if this goes off, they will be erased, scrambled, and in need of formatting. But between it and Jason is a complicated structure of gears, electric motors, servos, wires, switches, and multiple choice wiring options. Off to the side, and Jason doesn't see this. All they see is the puzzle. There's a timer, 60, 59, 58. Jason leans in and starts to look at it, walks around the back, 50, 49, 48. They go over to a side and gather up a couple of tools and come back and look. 39, 38. Go back again, come back and look again at this puzzle. And they can't decide whether they want to try and take the machine apart or beat the puzzle. You see them put down the tools and reach for the puzzle, and in the background, 11, 10, 9. And they still damn near made it. 3 out of 4. They did, without even realizing that they were up against the clock. But they were. And at the end, about 2 square blocks of this metropolis goes black. And it's going to be hours before the power is back on. Jason, tunk, 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 on the floor. A small red light starts to flash on the bead. And if you knew the pattern, it's the sort of factory button for reset required. They need to be turned off and turned back on again. Moose gets to his apartment and opens the door. He didn't have a lot of stuff, but everything he did have is gone. Only thing in this apartment is a table that isn't his and a half a dozen old school 2-dimensional hollow pictures taped to it. He scans the room, making sure nobody's here, moves in with military precision, makes his way up to the table, looks down to look into the pictures. They're images of friends and family, all taken from extremely long range. In fact, they're all screenshots from a sniper's rifle. Scope. He reaches down and grabs the one with his family and just rips it up off the table. Oh, and the table explodes as the tape comes up. He lives in an apartment too. Luckily, because he's so damn scary, the apartments around him, the squatters have kind of left. So when this whole wing of his apartment and drops to the ground with him in it, no one else dies. I say no one else because in a nearby hospital, the dock wagons are sent out. One of their platinum level customers is registering flatlined. If they can find him, they can put him back together. But they have to find him first. They start to dig through the rubble. The two of you see this flash up on the news. Not who it is, but the 2 places, the 2 things that have happened, and you probably know the addresses enough to at least put 2 and 2 together and come up with, oh shit.
Someone's been after us. They came to. And looks like our couple of jobs have come to bite us in the ass.
Yeah, they're gonna. Jet is just gonna fire off one more message to that phantom number, going for Jason.
Yeah.
And then he's going to load up a few things. He's going to engage the killbots and the turrets and the laser trip wires. And the itching powder buckets, the whole thing.
Yep.
Every countermeasure.
Somehow that bastard got past. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And he's gonna then jump in his custom little ride.
Yep. As you hit the seat, you get an email from the company. What were you doing after that whole process? feedback?
Um,
In other words, where were you when the email comes?
when the email comes, he's picking through the stack, like kilobyte by kilobyte, checking for new code.
Yep.
He's looking through. Unfortunately, he's barking up the wrong tree because he still thinks Renraku's involved.
Yep.
Looking for
That's very
recent hires of high-level hackers, any kind of black ops thing that may be just sniffing around.
Yep. So you just start to dance that dance with all those all that ice. That's military ice and corp ice, and that takes time, right? You got to take some planning, and that's when you get the email as well. When you open them, I'm assuming you both open them.
Yeah, after the standard,
Yeah.
spook and sweep.
Yeah,
Jet's doing a text to speech while he drives.
Right. It says, we were not watching your places of habitation, only yourselves. This has been rectified. These attacks change everything. I feel I should explain in person. Please meet me at the Orca Hotel in 2 hours. Report to the front desk and you'll be escorted up. And it's signed in an incredibly flowery text, kind of one of those ones that you almost have to deconstruct it to put it together. It is signed Harlequin Pierrot, Pierrot. It's another name, if anybody knows, for that sort of proto-clown like Harlequins were.
Yeah.
They were clown-ish, but they were scary as F.
Yeah,
and my apologies
unsettling
to our
heroes.
Banhammer person. This Harlequin, there are always elements of clown to Harlequin, but this is no clown, I assure you.
Feedback brings up the layout of the Orca. Like just...
And Jet?
Jet's gonna swing by Jason's place, pick up the paperweight that was his friendo, and take a moment or two to break the shit out of that trap.
Yep.
For when Jason comes back, just in case. You never know.
There was one thing left. One thing. And you
Just had
know
to cut the
Jason
red
well
wire.
enough now. When you walk in and you see the clock flashing zeros over here, it's like he never would have seen that with this in front of him. This is like taking a diabetic and putting a huge pile of candy in front of him with a sign that says sugar free and expecting him to see the lettuce over here.
Yep. No, he's
So
he might take a
there
picture
and,
of it and be like, so when Jason wakes up, he can be like, you were almost there, buddy.
Yeah.
But otherwise he's gonna pick up Jason, hit the backup process to start that going, tuck Jason in a secure pouch, and then just head to the Orca, seething and ready to blow.
One of the news feeds you see that keeps popping up is talking about how someone, and everyone's trying to figure out who is buried in the rubble of this exploded building, who living in that neighborhood had a platinum recovery card from medical, because they are literally tearing apart a block of rubble to find one person. Medwagon has hired cranes and garbage removal people, and the gas people are in there cutting off the mains, and
they've got dudes in exosuits kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
well, that's probably moose, and there ain't shit I can do for that recovery.
Yeah.
So
there's no way getting a moose.
Nope. So we're gonna let them excavate a moose.
It's out of season.
Yeah.
You can't have a moose. They're out of season. Thank you, Banhammer. You banned feet. Oh, it's gonna make walking on ankles really painful.
But
not feet. He's a well-loved member of this community.
It's called the Orca because it takes the form of 100-story tall dorsal fin sticking up out of downtown. It's even got that sort of
for you.
curl at the top. Yeah, that sort of tipped curl at the very top of it, built in. It sits. You've looked it up, so yeah. It's 100 stories tall and therefore almost 100 stories long because they're kind of triangular. It actually sits pretentiously in a pool shaped like the wake of a fin moving through water.
I hate this place
It's
already,
it's
and I hate
it's the
everyone in it.
most high-end hotel in this city. Around that, there's a park of muted grays and dark greens with flecks of pale floral arrangements designed to look like foam, so that the whole thing, when seen from space, looks like this glass fiber fin cutting through the city.
Corn help me.
Oh, yeah. The whole complex covers 6 city blocks. And yes,
I,
maximum corny.
I'm starting fires on my way out of here. But for fuck's sake, for now, I guess Jed will try and reach feedback, see if he needs a ride, and if so, swing and pick him up. Otherwise, just head to the Orca with Jason in a pocket.
Well, feedback makes his way on his own.
Okay.
He's
You guys arrive separately, but you're treated the same way. You
yeah.
as soon as you walk into the lobby, security nods at you knowingly, like they've been waiting for you to come in. And you are greeted by 2 very polite persons who radiate military training and competence, but they're wearing just like nice corporate suits. They're not like TCAL levels, like that little ninja that was chasing you. They're not that levels, but there's 2 of them for each of you.
They're
You are,
PMCs.
yeah,
They're competent.
you are escorted, to use a nice neutral term, to a hidden bank of elevators. Even in this place, you're being taken to a hidden bank of elevators. And there's only one button inside. The doors close, the penthouse light lights up, and it actually spelled, it's a big long button like this long, and it actually says penthouse, and it's the only button. And then it pushes itself, and the elevator starts to lift. Yes, yep, yes. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the rage. I'm really enjoying this. You entitled fuckers. I'll burn this place to the ground.
It's gonna grind his like not super clean boots into the floor while he's just petty little.
I'm gonna make it worse. The elevator rides that the trailing edge, so the curved edge of the fin, so the elevator actually goes in and then back out to the tip. The whole way up, showing you your clear superiority over the rest of the city spread below you.
And the smoke rising from Moose's apartment.
Yeah, with the explosion.
Good thing he was looking for a second place.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's not getting the deposit back on that one.
No. So yes, the one-way glass gives you an unimpeded view all the way up. At the top, the elevator door opens onto what looks like an open-air patio. 100 stories up. It's a vast lounge, but with no walls. Couches, chairs, tables, in the distance a kitchen and dining room. There's no ceiling, no walls, there's not even a railing. And you can feel a breeze. Not a wind. I mean, you're 100 stories up, it should be, but it's just a breeze. You hear a voice. You can't see anybody. A voice says, "Don't worry, you can't fall off. Please don't try. It rather ruins the effect." And on a table in front of you, there's a fruit bowl, and an apple lifts up and then flings off to the side and hits, looks like it's headed for the sky, but it hits what's obviously a wall, slides down and bump, bump, bump on the carpet. And the carpet just starts to eat it, and it starts to reconstitute in the bowl.
Applesauce.
I'm not eating recycled fruit. I just want that on the record there.
It's just like that energy bar you had for breakfast is made of bugs.
Yes.
Look, there's a principle of the thing.
Okay. You two are muttering to yourselves as the apple reforms in the bowl. And as it finally finishes, just behind it on the big couch, a figure appears on a chaise lounge.
Of course, it's a fucking chaise lounge.
Of course it is. Yeah. I went through this like 3 times going, make it snootier, make it snootier, make it impossibly snooty. And that's where I came up with this line. An impossibly thin and impossibly tall Alighieri with their feet up on the table. They wear
Oops.
finely woven white slippers with curled up toes, red leggings from ankles to knees held in place with pale pink cording, loose white trousers, and a tunic quartered with red and white checks there and there, and black and white vertical stripes there and there. Puffy sleeves, one of each pattern, and a belt and wristbands of woven red leather and cloth of gold. A small, well-worked version of a jester's cap sits atop a wimple that covers most of their ears and hair. In fact, all of their ears and hair. It tucks tightly into the highly frilled collar underneath. The face is covered in a mask, white and hinting at pale blue like fine china, translucent almost. Around the eyes, familiar black wire and fine jewels. Rubies and gold mountings cover the mouth, then beyond in $1 million rictus grin. The delicate lace gloves hold an ornate, bejeweled rapier. It's simply resting in their hands, in no way being wielded or threatening, but you can see a little fleck of apple on the tip of it. They smile and look at you, waiting for you to respond. Unleash the rage.
Feedback is immediately thinking his tuxedo might have been a little underdressed. He didn't bring it, but he's kind of wishing he did.
No, the problem is this is almost exactly what I was expecting.
Well, yeah.
A Sailor Moon villain.
It's been right there in the title ever since the very first episode.
Yeah, feedback sort of like nudges Jet as they kind of like, they do that thing where they don't want to, neither of them wants to look like the leader.
Yep.
Jet's just going to step ahead. He's just going to just wander right through. Jet he may not be the leader, but he's just willing to step right into it.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, the asshole we've been fucking with this whole time knows who we are and what we've been doing now.
And they kind of flow up off of the lounge into a standing position, and you realize right away that they're an android.
Yeah, the eyes. Remember, I salvaged that fucking skull myself. I know what's in there.
This is like a finer version. It's definitely that pattern and that sort of face, but this is a finer representation on the mask.
Well, I guess when we all get old, we all need, a little work done.
Is this your mom coming back to kill us?
Who are you asking that?
To Harlequin.
Oh, okay.
Because Crazy Pants.
Yes.
In the station.
They look at you and say, and they look down at themselves, had to do this to ensure that I survive long enough to get my revenge. But now that's more than that. That prick cheated. He broke the rules. He tried to kill you. It won't end now until one of us is dead, destroyed, or erased.
Awesome. Did not want to get caught up in some Corpo's clan war.
Oh, it's far bigger than that.
Of course it is.
But from now on, we stop playing for points. This is no longer about revenge. Well, yes, it is. But it is also about survival. And they pull off the mask. And underneath is just that blank android sort of shape, that sort of teardrop shape. And they turn the mask around like they're looking at it, and when they turn it back to you, there's a scar on the cheek.
That looks familiar.
Yep.
It wasn't that he hated me. It was that it shatters like the ceramic piece that it is. It was that he wouldn't stop loving me. They open their hand and the shrapnel falls to the floor.
So is that more of an Oedipus thing, or kind of a Brokeback Mountain thing? Because I'm a little confused. You're a robot.
I don't know. I don't know. This feels more like a cask of Amontillado. I can never remember how to pronounce it.
Amontillado.
Amontillado
yeah, gets me every
situation
time too,
um where one party just isn't really feeling it, doesn't even really know there is a rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
And the other party just seethes about it, hates that they're not being acknowledged as the grand foe that they are.
Oh no, we know that we are foes. We've made that perfectly clear. He made a, if I may, a faux pas when he did this, and this small drawer opens nearby and another mask floats over to their hand, and they show it to you, and it's got the scar on it again. And they kind of rub that spot with their finger, and it goes away. And they put the mask back on with an audible click. He was supposed to disarm me. But he, and she touches their cheek again and the scar comes back. But he went too far.
Is this all like metaphorical or something? Because
No,
that doesn't seem like much.
It's a duel. It was a duel of honor for a very touchy race that holds honor and slights like their very breath.
Corpos.
This is above corpos. This is beyond corpos.
You understand. Aran spent every penny of a dozen fortunes to stay alive this long. The rumors of what he does and what he needs done to him to stay in that state don't bear repeating. I was forced to stay alive long enough and to gain the power I needed. Was forced to take on first this form, she points at the android, and then, to gain the knowledge that I needed, I had to agree to share space with that insane head. But it was worth it when you released me. And there's like more than a tinge of that strange head in this mask now, and you're not quite sure how much they realize that. That touch of madness is there.
It's like, so what we unleashed on the net and what's standing before us, same person, different?
Same. Yes. Person, no. Yes.
Same being. Same consciousness.
Entity? Perhaps. That fits. For now. But
so,
even this...
Oh, I was just going to say, so I guess based on what we were doing, the one of the rules is you don't strike at the agents directly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, asshole damn near killed us.
Yeah, Moose is probably going to be Frankensteined, or being Frankenstein while we speak, and Jason, Jet will reach into a pocket and bring out the orb that's probably got like a 2% rebooting, loading Jason.
Format required. It keeps getting the 2% and stopping. That's going to take some time, but I can assure you the two of them are getting better care than, better care than anyone even knows exists. Let's just say they're not at hospitals that anyone's likely to find.
I've got Jason right here.
You have the bead.
Oh, the bead. That's fair. Should I leave Jason with you? Will that help exacerbate things, or should I keep Jason on me?
You may as well keep them.
All right.
It is. I'm unsure as to how long this is a fairly experimental procedure we're using, so we're not sure how long it's going to take.
Okay, so my main question is, how do we break this fucker so bad that he regrets ever slithering out of his mother?
Now we're talking. I intend to stick to the rules of Jalhan, even though he's forced us to escalate. This is what he did the first time. He cheated. He broke the rules. He agreed to a game and then he cheated. So I want you to infiltrate his home. We weren't going to go there yet, but I'm done fucking around. I want you to go to his home. And I want you to do to his mercenaries what he tried to do to you. Except I want you to do it in cold blood, face to face, looking at them so they know who did it. And then I want you to burn down his greenhouse. Kill every one of his blessed little orchids that he likes better than his children.
Oh,
I'm
I can
still
do
not
that.
going
Feedback.
to kill him today.
Feedback's like, I'll do you one better. I have a neurotoxin in mind.
Oh, we'll get him. But that is going to take a bit of planning and a bit of research.
I think he means the neurotoxin for the orchids.
Yeah. 'Cause
Okay, yes.
neurotoxin's the wrong word, but
Because that works on
You know.
neuros.
yeah.
You
know,
biotoxin.
I'm assuming bourgeois roses, they scream when they get cut.
Yeah. They're not orchids, they're orchid. They're that snooty, yeah. But yes,
the 17th century French Huguenot.
Yes.
Huguenot.
Why are they special? Because they kind of look like a willy. Have you ever seen a willy? Anyway, there's you say you can kill them all. Even better, leave them as ooze, but burn everything except for his innocence. But I'll have that instructions for you when you return to your places. For now, I have some research to do. If you'll excuse me.
Yeah, just one thing.
Yes.
Should we do this while wearing your masks?
There's a small pause, and in a drawer you hear a whirring. Bzz, 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 bzz. You feel the now common effect of yourself being scanned by your own phone. And yes, beautiful, form-fitting masks come out for each of you that even fit around your goggles. Feedback. I'm trying to picture that image. Wow. Got a week to process that in my head. But yes, each of you is now wearing a Harlequin mask. Or you have a Harlequin mask that you can carry and wear.
For purposes of masks I happen to have, Feedback's is a plague doctor mask.
Okay, yep. That works. That actually, the time-wise, that works very, very well with the Harlequin and the Pierrot costumes. But in that case,
it's
Jet,
like
what does yours
the
look
plague
like?
doctor masquerade,
but it's still
like,
got
like an
the
actual,
Harlequin patterns on it, like the diamonds and the big red. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Guy Fawkes. Yeah, it is weirdly appropriate to do.
Yep. Jet's is far more demonic. It's scaly, kind of draconic, but in that Harlequin way, the overstated bright colors, the scales are different colors.
That was
but he's got those ruby red lips.
Yeah, very, very much par for the course.
Very in vogue.
Yeah. It's Feedback, and that is Jet. Perfect. Okay, yeah. So yeah, perfect.
I imagine Moose having like an Oni mask, like a Harlequinized Oni mask.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him decide, but
just the Menpo,
just from there down, yeah.
Yep. And Jason can make whatever mask Jason wants.
Yeah,
Jason's a hard light construct.
Yes, but with that, you return to your you're both your houses survive, so yes, you can return to your places of residence.
Yep.
As you get home, there's another email waiting. This one is more secure. It has to scan you again before it reads it out. But it says, Aaron is a paranoid little prick, but I shouldn't be surprised after what we've put him through. As a result, your infiltration will be convoluted. First, you'll fly in one of my private planes to a private airstrip in Uruguay. Then you'll take a vertical takeoff and landing to a riverside clearing next to the Amazon itself. The pre-programmed safe boat will take you downriver to within 1.5 kilometers of a walk through the forest to his compound. Oh, didn't I mention? It's in Brazil. We have satellite photo taken 4 days ago. It's been cloudy since then. But here, and I'll show you guys on our VTT. Bingo. We have a satellite photo taken 4 days ago. It's been cloudy since then, but this is fairly common from what we've seen over the last few months of recon that we've been doing. Our analysts assure us that several things about this compound are off. Notably, the stables in the southwest corner are clearly fake. They're not just not used, they're actually fake. Evidence? There's no hoof prints in the paddock. There's no water trough or food visible. There's no gate on the paddock. They weren't even trying. And most of all, there's nowhere to ride. This is surrounded by forest primeval. That building is also dimly lit at night, which you wouldn't do if you were keeping horses there. The southeast corner building is even more mysterious. It is a completely unknown function. There's a vegetable garden on the roof, perhaps as camouflage. But other than that, there's no doors or windows. It's 1 story tall, and it's not lit ever. The entire compound is surrounded by a fence that is electrified big time. Far more than is needed to keep animals out. Animals are smart. One zort, they leave. This is person-killing levels of power. There's always mercenaries who travel with Iran. It is presumed that some of them will be here somewhere on these grounds at all times, but we haven't seen any in the last week. You'll notice in the top, in the the northeast corner, there is a small airplane here. It's an easy fly Cessna. You simply have to get in it and program where you want it to go, and it will take you there. We'll give you the GPS coordinates for the airport it is to land at. There's also extra fuel for it in the hangar. House staff and non-combatant employees are innocent and must be untouched. While we are willing to kill because they tried to kill you, we don't want to kill innocents. So we'd like you to burn everything that will burn, except the mansion. You also notice the hangar. They didn't mention anything about it. It kind of looks like a barn on the picture. It looks like an old school red barn with the gabled roof. Burn everything you can that will burn except for the mansion. I like your idea with the flowers. Turn them into mush and leave that behind. Kill any mercenaries or security that you encounter. Make certain that the greenhouse and all of those prized orchids are destroyed. We'll pay you a bonus if you determine what's inside the stable. We'll pay you an even bigger bonus if you find out what's inside that question mark building. And we will pay a bonus on top of that bonus if you destroy or steal whatever is in those places. Speaking of bonuses, there'll be 50,000 each. 150,000 now, 150,000 when you're done.
That'll cover the poisons.
That'll cover the incendiaries. So many incendiaries. It's not even about the money now.
Yeah. That's what I was hoping.
I've got a line on white phosphorus if you need it.
Oh, yes.
Willie you start planning right there and then. Yeah. All right. So yeah, the two of you, have you met somewhere? Met at one of your places, or are you Zoom calling this? Secure Zoom?
Probably a dive bar. Someplace that where, people get paid not to notice.
Yes, precisely.
Yeah. Besides, after all that, Jet definitely feels the need for giant plate of bacon, French toast,
yep,
home fries, just the whole thing.
It's personal meal.
Yeah, feedback's just happy to drink a beer in a glass that hasn't been meticulously cleaned.
Yes, yeah, it's got a fingerprint on it.
Yeah. Oh, it feels human again.
Oh,
yeah, now I want French toast too. I know, right?
Okay, where are we?
No bread. Everything else we need.
Oh, I remember how I did this. It's back here. Right. Bam. Paper. Wow, who knew? So, with that, The tickets await you. All you have to do is go to there's a private airport that an address is given.
Well, I suppose the main question is, are we leaving right now? Do we have leeway to wait and see if Moose and Jason recover? What's the
Uh,
timeline we were provided?
the There was you could send that question and you get back the faster the better. We don't want them preparing. They know, in quotation marks, that 2 of you are dead.
Well, if Jason wakes up while we're on the way, he can help. But
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, well then, I need 4 hours to put together what I need to take with me.
Mm-hmm.
Feedback.
Locusta can get us the poisons on site. I don't know how they do it, but
You
they
can get
always seem to know.
whatever you guys want to take on this. You want incendiaries? Yes, you got them. Grenades? Yes. Incendiary grenades? Yes. All that you want.
Feedback's going to hit up the night market for some of the more conventional stuff he's going to bring with him, but for the poisons are going to be available when we get there.
And yes, you are given essentially an untraceable uncredit card to cover all of your expenses for this. You do not pay this out of your payment.
Hardback eddies.
Yeah, you're pros now. You got a per diem.
Yeah.
Expenses, per diem. Yeah, you're getting paid for
The
lunch.
whole thing.
Yeah, the whole bit. Travel time, all of it.
All right. Yep. Well, Jet is going to grab some of his more lethal, extremely lethal goodies, all of his functional spiders.
So when you crawl onto this plane, and I'm imagining it's all but a crawl. Think of like a Learjet, but squatter and wider and sort of just more cyberpunky. You know what I mean? Like, it just looks sleeker, and flatter and wetter because it's always raining in cyberpunk.
Of course.
As you crawl up those couple of steps, that's where it's all pleasant. We put this in Vancouver technically, so you crawl up those little steps into the back of the Learjet. What does it look like as the camera drops down out of the cloud and the mist through the rain? The lights of Vancouver in the background. Big black spot where
Jet has a massive backpack on him. Old Zappy tuned up and with a few little extras strapped to the side of the rucksack, like the just huge multiple pockets, almost as tall as he is, kind of just he is loaded for bear and he is willing to use everything at his disposal to lay low those who would strike out at him in his home and strike at the people he has come to consider friends.
So you got all the gear and just hanging off of you everywhere. And I'm assuming hanging off of you somewhere that mask, just waiting to be donned as well. That demonic porcelain mask just sort of swinging eyelessly in the breeze for now as you climb onto the plane.
Oh yeah, well it's around a strap around his neck, so just like right there on the chest.
It's just sitting there, just bouncing. So it's kind of looking at you out of his chest. Beautiful. Yep. With the glint of grenades seen through the eye holes. There we go. I'm finally done. So you. Almost, I mean, I don't care how strong you are. That's one of those like hands on the stairway because it's almost a stair to get into those little planes anyway, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's an engineer, so he's got weights, the weight distribution harness and counterbalanced. And
as long as you stay perfectly straight up.
If he tips over, he's going to be like an extraordinarily combustive turtle. But
I think you just gave the nickname to my character in your Deadlands campaign. Extraordinarily combustible turtle.
Yep. If he does pull over, he's got feedback. I'm going to need you to rotate me 30 degrees to the left, then tilt me up 5 inches at a time, pausing for 2 breaths, or we're all just gonna this whole forest is gone.
Yep. So you get into the plane. Behind them, feedback. You come rolling. Everybody's having snacks now. Damn it.
Well, feedback. The first thing that you see is the camera actually zooms in on the first thing you see is the rucksack that feedback has. It actually has Moose's name on it.
Okay, yeah.
So he stole one of Moose's rucksacks. Don't tell him. That's got all the fun stuff in it. He's got a duffel bag in this hand, a a gun case in the other hand, sort of a compact one because the Rattler's not that big.
Yeah.
And he's dressed for the rain. The kind of got that sort of slick overcoat.
Yep.
His head's somewhere else. The mask is in the duffel bag with the data slab and a concerning number of grenades.
You're saying that sitting behind, yeah,
Mr. Grenade.
The grenade, yeah.
Except instead of like, the explosive warnings and stuff, these ones all come with like technical readouts, minimum safe distance,
Right.
what's another one? EM shielding rating,
Yeah.
X plus, stuff like that.
My very
These
favorite,
are the ones
this side towards enemy.
this side towards enemy.
Or you could train your staff.
Do not
but,
operate
never
with
mind.
Do not operate with pacemaker.
Yeah. Do not anger happy fun ball. Never mind.
Exactly.
So as the two of you climb onto this plane, and you could not look more out of place. You guys look like a war in a ballroom. It's white leather seats and teak walls around the portholes on the side of the plane that are all one-way glass coffee tables, and it's almost 70s chic, but it's all done very ironically and hipstery for the second time because this is like 2060, right?
Yeah.
But as you walk in and sit down, you notice one new thing. There's a brass plaque, clearly has just been screwed to the bulkhead between you and the pilot's area. And on it, it says, "Now is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning." And then the Winston Churchill at the bottom. The plane powers up. The door closes. Interrupt me at any time.
No. Jet really has nothing else right now. He is focused on, like, he's got the schematic up on a data pad. He's just looking at if they have any old pictures. He's looking for things like trees that might be convinced to fall on the electric fence.
Yep. In that case, I'll give you now. There is a 10 meter space all the way around the compound that has been cleared of all foliage except for grass, but it's only 10 meters and the trees are a hell of a lot taller than that. 10 meters is essentially, when I say meters for any of our American friends, just think yards. You're close enough.
Yeah, there's like a
it's
2
only
inch
about
difference.
that much difference. So so I'm assuming the two of you have both got them up and you're scanning and looking for weak spots and whatnot. As you can see on the very left hand side of the map, each one of those squares is 5 meters, so 5 yards across. This is a big place.
That it is.
The plane takes off, and faster than it ends in interest. It's a supersonic Lear. The wings actually lean back as it speeds up, not in a clunky F-14 sort of dunk thing, but they just sort of blend into a faster shape as the plane goes faster and faster and faster. You find yourselves over South America in almost no time. And you find yourself over the Amazon basin very quickly. It's just, you're flying so low and so fast. It's just a green blur with the occasional sort of flicker of water. Flicker, flicker, flicker of another river. Bigger, bigger river, bigger river, bigger river. And then there's quite a long one. It's sort of gone. And that was the Amazon. You continue on and you see the plane starts to bank and the wings start to come out again and it slows down. And you see ahead of you just a green hill. And it's just got this sort of brown stripe on it. You realize that's a landing strip. It's just dirt. And it's on a bank like this, and you're coming in from this side. Your pilot is going to actually have to land going uphill.
Feedback finishes his drink.
Yeah.
Before they get to landing.
Jet?
Put that back on the Meg.
Oh, Jet's going to finish up his game of Fruit Ninja. And then... Because once all the planning's done, Jet doesn't drink while on a job.
Chat, it's been regreened. It was ungreened and it's now been regreened. So you guys sort of, and your plane just keeps getting more and closer. You can feel it trying to stall. It's coming in so slow and low. The wings are straining to reach forward enough, and finally it touches the mud, and you hear as the wheels are spinning. The mud's coming up and hitting the bottom of the plane. You're trying to land an airplane in the mud at a high speed while you slowly stop. The very top, no more than, you look out the windows, you can see there's no more than 10 meters from the front of the plane to the edge of the forest. The plane starts to shut down, and you realize it's not leaving here. Even if they turn it around, there's not enough runway to get it out. This plane is being abandoned here. Its sole purpose was to get you here. Maybe that explains the tacky interior. It was just getting rid of an old one.
He stows the bottle.
There is just next to you at the end of the runway, a tarp is pulled off of an old Osprey. The vertical takeoff and landing. It looks like an airplane, but it's got the wings tilt. It's got the gigantic rotors. One of those. The two of you hop in, and poof, up you go. Poof, and start to fly over again, much, much lower, over the down the river itself. This time you start down a small tributary heading towards the Amazon itself. When you get to where the two join, there's a clearing. You were told you were going to land in a clearing. You see a small metal hut, a couple chimneys, the remains of a couple fires. And as the Osprey comes down and lands, it's blowing plastic and 45-gallon drums and stuff just sort of off into the forest. Sleeping bags, all kinds of crap. As it comes to a stop, the pilot opens the kill it with a hammer. Where is it?
Wow.
Delete, ban. No, I'm sorry. Oh shit. 3 of us banned, and I just banned Kalina.
Oh,
fuck. God. Oh no.
Oh, Kevin rolled a 1.
No. How do I undo that?
Them.
How do I unban them?
Click on their name again.
Where they sent something up here? Way up here. Where are you? Oh fuck. Of all the people,
you can also do hit the community button in the upper right to see
community button. There we are. I see banned. I don't know how to unban them.
Click on their name. There should be an unban function. You have to actually be focused on
This
them.
is why we don't use Fireball for ban hammers, guys.
I should have just let the people who know what they're doing do it, right? Unban. There we go. Oh, Kalina, hello, my dearest darling person. It was a mistake. I did not mean to ban you. Please don't hate me. I didn't do it on purpose. It was a complete accident. Thank you. Oh, fuck. I feel like an ass. Oh, boy. I feel bad. Oh.
It's like 3 people trying to play the same game of whack-a-mole.
And then we all tried to play unwhack-a-mole at the same time. Yeah, don't mod in GM. I can't do either well, so I should have definitely not have done both. Oh shit, Kalina, I'm so sorry. I went to ban them. Somebody banned that one, and yours popped up into that spot. So, and I hit the. I just let the pros do it from now. I'm just do this thing. I'll talk to these people, and I'm sorry. Oh my god. There are no professionals in this organization. Absolutely none at all. It's not allowed.
Nope.
It might be cold here, but suddenly I'm sweating. I feel like a complete ass. Oh man. I am okay. One more time, clean, and then I'm going to stop. Oh, you just made that 1,000 times better and 1,000 times worse all at the same time. I got a virtual hug. Holy shit!
Stolid.
That is. I'm crushed. Okay, back here. Let's hurt these guys for a minute to make me feel better. So that VTOL lands. You guys jump out. The pilot says to you, "Don't touch anything. This was an active drug camp until about 3 days ago," and you look around, you can see the big pits where they were crushing drugs and pouring in chemicals and...
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, oh, that's going to be where my stuff is. Goes into the hut, comes out with a small briefcase. This will be fun.
And then I guess we're supposed to find a boat.
Yes, there is a smart boat. You've seen them before. It basically looks like an escape boat from a ship. Just a pod that you get in, and it takes you where you're supposed to go.
All right. All right.
Head down the river. And it's weird because it's basically a submarine. There's only like a tiny little bit of it above the water to let air in and out. It's electric
It's a
motors.
cigar
So
boat.
yeah, it's designed to be sneaky, and it's sneaking you down the river. It gets you. You can see the map. It's like being in a plane. You can see the little airplane, except in this case, you can see the little sub moving down the river. You can see where your target is. It's only a couple hundred meters away when there's a all along the side of your sub, and it
None of
starts
that
to
fucking played.
spin to the side. Oh, it stopped all that noise. A huge
Yeah.
scratching, dragging sound of metal on rock as the
Ooh.
boat that you're in
Yeah,
down
that's
the rock
because that's stealthy.
and starts
Yeah,
to
I think-
twitch to the side like that. You're still underwater, but your boat is starting to tilt.
Sort of was like, I think we packed too many grenades.
All that happened was a sandbar moved. It's the
Oh, okay.
Amazon.
Yeah.
All that happened was plot. So yeah, you guys ran into some plot in the river.
Yeah,
God damn it. That's why they say no dumping in the river.
okay.
And you can
Right,
feel
so-
the ship continuing to tip and tip. It's not taking on water, but it's not righting itself either.
Jet's gonna move over to the side that's
Yeah. Start
since
to
he's
bring
got
it back a
probably the most
little
weight.
bit.
He's just
But there's
yeah,
an orange light on the dash starting to flash. It says extreme tip angle, extreme tip angle, extreme tip angle.
We might have to bail this thing. Ditch it and walk. Not looking forward
You're
to
close.
that.
You're only a couple hundred meters from where you were going to have to walk from anyway.
Is there a way, any controls to make it like emergency surface or anything?
There's an emergency surface button, but there's also
Or a way to
feedback.
steer
You'd
it?
be able to tell there's kind of a hidden UI. There's no
Mhm.
controls on this. Like there's no left, right, up, down controls on this. You're not supposed to. It's just supposed to be a rescue boat. It's a safe boat, right?
Mhm.
But there is. If you can break in. Yeah, Freedom Eagles. Yes, if you can break into the system, you could pilot this boat the last couple hundred meters.
Yeah.
Or just
Yeah, I'm
bail.
gonna give it a shot. I mean,
Okay.
my sort of get out the gauntlet, sort of
Yeah.
play with it a little bit.
Boop, 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 boop. And yeah, I don't even need a roll for it. It's not really difficult. It's just there. Yeah, up, down, left, right, left, right. You get a free life and you land on the beach. You skid to you bring the ship to a stop just sort of under between a couple of rocks and just under the water, so you can basically get out the top and walk out like a submersible. You're still about 1.5 kilometers, 1,500 meters, almost 5,000 feet, so slightly less than a mile from your target through the bush.
Okay, I guess we're huffing it the rest of the way.
We are, and where I'm aiming for us to kind of
Yes.
come through
Mhm.
is, let me ping it on the. Why are you not pinging?
You may not be on the right level, perhaps.
There we go.
Okay, so
So somewhere up here by the front of the mansion.
lots of feedback.
As long as feedback doesn't have another plan.
If anybody listens
Because-
carefully, I just called you feedbank.
Feed bank. Good old food bank the hacker.
Yes. And we're just gonna put these two up here for a while.
That's his cover
Yeah.
cover
Yep.
story.
So yeah, that was
Uh,
where your idea was to come in, sort of by the north
Well,
by the
to
airport.
to get up there. The
Yes.
plan is to put a couple of thermal cutters at the base of some trees angled
Yep.
so that they will burn through and fall on the fence, but not until we actually get down here.
Ah, I see. Drop
'Cause trees falling on the fence-
distraction. Yeah.
Yeah. Aren't that's, I mean,
And
you know,
then
Moose
ours.
would probably be all
Okay.
for that one, but Jet prefers to not give them chances to shoot him
Yes.
if possible.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind
Moose,
of
Moose is the kind of person that's like electric fence. I'll short it out with my dick. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's about what I was thinking. I was gonna say a Faraday door and then
Yeah.
bolt cutters.
Yep.
Yeah.
So either way,
Yep.
you got okay. So you
About the
got
same
the
idea.
distraction up there, and then so while you're doing that, then feedback. You're doing setting up the Faraday cage down at the bottom
hmm
to get
Yep.
through.
Jet will set it up to just be remote. Just wait
Yeah,
until we
absolutely.
know we've got a way in, and then
Easy.
just chink,
Easy peasy.
and then some timber.
Yeah. So you set that up to the north, and then the two of you, I'm assuming, want to be down here-ish after.
Down here
Yeah,
by the
absolutely.
we're gonna
Yeah, by the stables.
yeah.
Perfect. So you get there. You are unseen because nobody's looking. You have seen as you move around and spend the time setting this up. You guys are looking around. You do see a couple things which I just realized I should probably mention. The most obvious one would be that there is, in fact, a helicopter here. A rather robust, sort of military-looking helicopter just to the south of the hangar. And you can see working on it they're a civilian, but they're a mechanic, and it looks like you know enough to know it's not broken. They're doing routine maintenance. You can see them testing things and cleaning and opening doors and taking doing checklists around it. Just north of that, the hangar doors, the south doors of the hangar are open, and you can hear voices inside, loud, obnoxious voices.
All right. Do we see any
there is a
obvious
mercenary logo on the helicopter? So yeah.
Okay. Do we recognize the logo?
They are well-known, high-end. I guess the modern equivalent would be the ones that were famous until a very short while ago. What, Blackwater? We'll call them that. Yeah, we'll use that.
Okay. Yeah, no compunctions about fucking them up.
Yeah.
Do we see?
They're mercenaries. They're here. They're your target.
At best, they're competition.
Yeah.
Yep.
At worst, they're
And in the center building is that workshop. That door is open, and every once in a while, that mechanic goes over and into the workshop and comes out with parts or not parts, but another checklist or
Do we see security
filters.
cameras like around?
Strangely, none. Not one in the entire compound.
That's ominous as hell. Feedback, is there anything Wi-Fi, anything you can ping to figure out why they would not have cameras everywhere? I would have cameras everywhere.
We're in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Give me a three dice check just to sort of scan the area.
And I would have cameras with Gatling guns.
I have 6.
Okay. There is a wireless essentially centered on the mansion. It is well secured for wireless as much as they can be. It is entirely only being accessed by anything in this space. There's no external connections. There's no sort of internet. It's all intranet at this location. Except you notice there's a tiny little thread, and it's the same color as your little Harlequin friend is. That sort of ceramic. It looks like it's just a ceramic fiber coming in here. So even though there's no internet, because they are more than the internet, they're here.
Okay. Closed system, but our friend has a link because of course they do. I'm not seeing cameras. If there are cameras, they're in the mansion, but there's nothing pointed outside.
You find a file. I forgot to mention this because, yeah, you were looking specifically for cameras. And there's a sub-file that says cameras, and there's locations for them and everything, but all of them say parts pending. They're waiting for a shipment. He wasn't paranoid until just recently, and they're not here yet.
Gotcha.
Well, looks like we came out under the gun. If we had waited for Moose, we probably wouldn't have had this opportunity.
Yeah. This was the right call.
All right, let's get that cage set up. What he does is he takes out what looks like a bunch of little boxes, attached to wires.
Yeah,
and he sets the ends down, and then he sort of clips them. And as he clips them, the electricity in this spot turns off.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't trip the wires. It doesn't
just makes a dead
set
spot.
anything off. It just makes a dead spot.
All you actually would have to do is create resistance in any one or two of the wires, because electricity always takes the path of least resistance, right? So just give it an easy place to go, and then don't touch that one. So you set that up. It is set up and ready to work and functioning. Are we dropping the trees? What are we doing?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Jet's gonna reach in and get out a little can of very compressed liquid nitrogen.
Yes.
And he's just gonna start going.
Oh, okay.
Because bolt cutters make a lot of noise.
Yes. Yeah.
But
they don't. Yep. Oh, perfect. Yeah.
And then just
so you
hold
killed
it.
the field, and then you've got this sort of negative field, and then you're shattering out the. Oh, So good. Yep.
And then, ready?
Yeah.
Give feedback. All right. Click.
The trees start to fall. They're huge. They do that thing where this must be slow motion. Oh no, wait, it's not. Look at the wind at the top. Like it's ripping leaves off the branches as it falls. But this is a 100-meter tree. It takes forever to come down. And then the other one across it and above it. They take out a huge chunk of fence, sort of 30 or 40 meters. I'm going to use these guys as markers, basically. So from there, from Moose to Jason, that entire section of fence is destroyed. That also means that this section of the runway is unusable. I realize now I'm going to have to draw a tree in here. If this works for you, tell me if this is more than you wanted or less, but I kind of envision that
No, that's fine. We've got
as the
another half
canopy
of.
planted
we're good.
down there.
We
That
got
way you
another
haven't
half
hit
of
the hangar,
runway.
and you've only rendered one of the two runways unusable.
Almost
Yeah.
got the hanger. That's too bad.
Well, you can hit it if you want. That's why I asked if this was
No.
what you wanted. You had a 300-foot tree. You could drop it, or 300-meter.
Well,
You could drop it all the way over to here.
we could, but no, there could be innocence in there. The whole
Yes.
point was to make a ruckus that was
Yeah.
guaranteed
That's
not
your
to.
distraction.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
So-
it
And even
works.
then,
You
the
hear the
tree
northern
lands.
doors of the hangar slide open, the two big metal doors, and you see a couple of rough-looking, certainly mercenaries. Like they're not geared up, but you can tell they're the way that they're moving, and they kind of look out at the trees and holy shit, and you just hear over in that section.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah.
This was the greenhouse?
Yes, yeah, attached to
Okay.
the side of the mansion. Sorry, I didn't mention that. Yeah.
Nope.
I had a.
Well then,
What happened to? I remember writing it in there last night. Oh well.
my thought
gnomes
would
got
be
it.
trying to get into the stables first, since that's
Yeah.
kind of catty corner on the other side from the hangar where most of the mercs seem to
Yep.
be.
Plus lots of distraction up north, and yeah, everybody's moving in that direction. Absolutely.
Yep.
So the two of you can easily break through this gate and run in there. You get to the door. It's kind of strange because when you get to the door of the stable, it is locked, and I mean like locked. It's got a serious electric lock on it. Feedback.
Yep. Yeah, his serious electric lock. He's like, psh.
Got your
Incredible.
serious electric lock hanging.
Yeah.
5, 5, and a 2.
That is 2 successes. Yeah, you just boop 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 boop. Pop this. The lock pops open. It when the door unlocks, you hear it's almost like an airlock sound. It's a pff, as the door it was sealed. But when it opens that crack, you don't smell anything. Like it's not like it was, there's not gas and everything. In fact, it smells almost antiseptically clean. The door's open like this much. You quickly look to the north, and you can see in the mansion, you can see the windows along the back and the door, and there's nobody in any of them. The tree through the fence is certainly, that was a really good idea. So it's caused a massive distraction.
Mm-hmm.
You've unlocked this door without doing any damage to it. What do you do?
Poke out a little bendy spyglass.
Yep.
Creep
Poke
it
it
and
through
take
the
a
door.
very quick peek. I mean, don't have long, but
Nope.
I'm definitely not going to wander in there
Yep.
if I see, biohazard bats or something.
Yeah, right.
No. What you see in this stable is a showroom. It's all white walls and white light and white floors and white, just everything is just kind of this box designed to show off 4 cars. For those who are fans, there's a 2013 LaFerrari. These are hypercars and supercars from the past. There's a Lamborghini Countach from 1982. There's a Pagani Zonda from 2014. And pride of place right inside the front door, there's a Ferrari 296 GT3 race car from 2023. It actually comes out in about a month. It's stunning.
The low whistle from feedback.
Oh, this hurts my soul. What I'm going to do to these cars. 'Cause we can't take them with us.
Yeah.
So Jet's going to and slide in and wait for feedback. Feedback's coming in, I'm assuming, and then pull it back so that once again there's just the slightest crack.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna ring these motherfuckers to burn and melt.
Okay,
with,
give me a perception roll as you move around to set these charges. Both
Jet
of
is
you.
very perceptive.
Yes.
5, 6, and 3.
Okay, perfect. Feedback?
Okay. He is not super perceptive,
It's just 2.
but he gets boxcars.
Okay, you both found it at the same time. It makes sense. You're looking at the cars, basically feedback like wow, and the most techie one is the 296 GT's race car. So you kind of drift towards that, and you crouch down to look at the lines or whatever it is that you're looking at. At the same time, Jet, you're just about to reach underneath and stick an explosive device underneath it on that very expensive bodywork, and it feels really bad. But you see a seam in the white floor. There's a door, a trap door underneath this Ferrari.
Well then, we're still gonna rig the explosives, but then
Are we going to take a trip?
yeah, I guess we've got to move the car. Can we find any switches or anything? Is it a radio signal?
It appears to be a physical door.
Oh.
You're gonna have to move the car and then physically lift up the door.
All right.
Pull the e-brake and push.
Yep.
I'm not going to risk turning on the vehicle.
Yeah, no.
So yes, you do that. You push this multi-million-dollar car out of the way, and there it is on the floor. It's all been painted white, but it's just one of those little rings, like a stage, on every stage ever. You pull it open and look down, and there's a ladder leading down about 2 floors into the darkness, and then there's a tunnel heading east, straight towards the mystery building.
Well then, this is fortuitous. Chet's like, we have feedback. You can get this door open from this side again, right?
He checks.
Yes.
Yeah.
From this side, it's easy. This is like there's always doors all have essentially a direction, right? I want to keep you out, but I want to be able to get out easy. So yeah, from this side, it's easy to get out.
All right, then we're gonna lock it really well, really well.
Yep.
Then let's go exploring.
The Ferrari's still in the wrong spot upstairs, but there's nothing you can do about that really.
Rig this door to warn me.
Okay.
If somebody opens
easy. Like that's just one of those little beep things. Yeah. You can buy them at the dollar store. So yeah, easy. You hook one of those up on there. You climb down the ladder.
Oh, Jet's first, of course, going to break a glow stick or two and drop it ahead of him, and then
think on the ground down at the bottom, and they kind of add a weird. What color are they? You said a couple, so there's 2.
A couple, both blue.
Blue. Okay. Oh yeah. This gives it that weird. I get to use this word again because it's a chemical reaction. It's an actinic light. It's so blue it's beyond white. They hit down there, and because there's 2 of them, the shadows sort of crisscross of the ladder rungs in the wall, all sort of crisscross on the way up, making this weird pattern that fades as it climbs up towards you. So that's what you're climbing down through, is this crisscross line of shadows. You get to the bottom, and that blue light just goes into the distance and fades until right at the very, very end, you can see just a pale blue outline, the reflection of a door at the other end.
Oh,
good thing they didn't post a guard down here.
Yep.
Let's do this.
I'm going to get old Zappy out, and since I think Jet can probably take a bullet a little better than feedback right now, Jet will lead the way. Yep. He's not quite Moose levels of meat shield, but
you get all the way down this hall. There's a sacred feeling here. I don't know if I can explain it, but if you walk into a place that used to be a place of worship, like if you walk into Stonehenge or a cathedral or something, there's a presence there, like people worship here. That's the word I'm looking for. There's sort of a quiet reverence in the air, and this has that. It has that feeling. So Jet, you get to the door first, not locked, not bolted, not electrically locked. It's just a door handle, a plain wooden door, polished to a high shine, so you could see that reflection of the light when you were coming down the hall. But
All right. Greek.
you open the door, and the two of you look in to see what can only be called a shrine to Harlequin. It's a creepy homage, love story, tragedy seen through Aran's eyes. You can see from the pictures on the walls and the images and the displays, it's like a museum. You can tell from the ages and the imagery that if you were to go in and turn left and just follow the walls all the way around, it's a timeline.
Mhm.
And in the center of this grand space is a cloth of gold curtain suspended from a round ring in the ceiling. So the curtain is a circle.
Hmm.
The tassels just touch the floor, and the curtain is the full 6-meter height of this room, so 20 feet. You can hear, even down here in the darkness, so it must be a recording, animals, birds, and insects, just like you heard outside in the jungle.
Hmm. Okay, this is kind of creepy.
Shades of Buffalo Bill in here.
Well,
Let's see what's behind that curtain.
I think I knew this girl in high school.
quick
Fuck.
side note, we have left, at this point, we have left the plot of the original Shadowrun campaign. It's supposed to be several more of these sort of drop and pick up things, but yeah, this got personal in a hurry, so I like this. So what was that feedback?
I was like, I think I knew this girl in high school.
Jet's just gonna shake his head and let's peer behind the curtain carefully. Well, first he's gonna look and see, are there any little tripwires, anything that looks like a sensor, any...
Nope. The only thing there
okay.
is a small pillow with 2 knee prints in it near the place where the curtain opens. So somebody kneels and opens these curtains.
Oh god, I saw that show in Amsterdam. Okay.
Yeah, this one's weird though. There's no coin slot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, all right,
Must be free. Yeah.
Gonna just slide it open.
And yes, it is, of course, a full-size, 5-meter tall statue. To say it is stylized is to put it mildly. You've seen what now passes for Harlequin, this impossible android. This is, if anything, even more unrealistic, but in a different way. This is like the Alighieri version of a Barbie doll. It's just impossible. It's the Greek ideal person made to look like this person that he loves.
Fuck buckets.
So, Jet, what do you think? Half a pound of Semtex to the crotch? Should take the whole thing down.
Yeah, but first, let's just Jet's actually going to just do, like, get out his phone, set it to record,
Yep.
and just do a full panorama of
walls.
this.
Oh, thank you.
Pan the walls, get the statue, especially zoom in on the friggin' pillow with the knee indents in it.
Oh yeah.
Just the whole thing. And then he's just gonna stop it and he's like, all right, let's rig this motherfucker. There's nothing to steal here except pictures.
As you pan around, you can't help but look, right? I mean, you get the story.
Yeah,
it's like walking down the Bayeux Tapestry. You can admire the thread count all you want, but you're going to get the story. Right? I'll give you the short version. Following an arranged marriage, Aran came to resent Harlequin because she considered their marriage a political necessity, while he was truly smitten. In a moment of anger, he challenged his wife to a duel, a not uncommon thing in Alighieri society, but there are rules. There's rules for everything. And just like Chalhan She and Chalhan Se, these spousal duels have levels. And as the guilty party, Aran chose Tuhulak She, to disarm, rather than Tuhulak Se, first blood. Then Harlequin, the better swordsperson, taunted and mocked her husband as she made him look foolish. and yet refused to disarm him, just continuing to heap abuse and mockery on him. The fourth time that she could have disarmed him and didn't, he waved his sword petulantly, and as she was unprepared, unexpected him to attack because she was expecting to be disarmed, he cut her on the cheek, thus committing the ultimate faux pas and breaking the rules and forfeiting his rights. Harlequin, now the aggrieved party, swore Shalhan Sheh and Erran fled instead of facing what he'd done.
So he's a little bitch.
Look, Jesus Christ. Look, there's no.
There's nobody here who's not at fault. Let's just put it
Yeah, I
that
was just
way.
gonna say there's no way. I get kind of wanting to throw a little salt there, but
Yep.
making it go on that long, whatever.
Mm.
The only reason that I'm still in this at this point is this motherfucker tried to kill me, and the money's really good.
Absolutely.
And he hurt Moose, and he hurt Jason,
Yep.
and
Feedback's-
he cleaned Feedback's house. I mean,
Yep.
Feedback's general idea of like reading this whole thing is kind of this kid or these people wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes on the street.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell no.
Not a chance.
No.
Oh man, they would have gotten friggin' owned by a bunch of 5-year-olds.
So
right?
this is the kind of one of those weird sort of moments where time freezes. You're standing in one mad person's shrine, here on a mission from another mad person. And the only reason it's personal is because they tried to kill you. You are in the heart of your enemy's house. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, none of that matters.
Yep.
Besides, a lot of Jet's clients are crazy. I mean,
Yep.
sane people don't hire somebody like Jet, or even really Feedback or Moose, maybe
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah.
But you don't bring them all together, or even as separate components, and not have something wrong up here.
Yes.
Yeah, sanity and cyberpunk do not go well together.
Yeah. Out of character, I've
Just in
said the same
general.
thing about any adventurer. Normal
Yeah.
people don't become adventurers; they become butchers and horseshoe makers. Yeah, you got to be a little bit nuts to be an adventurer.
Yeah,
To be an adventurer in a cyberpunk world where you can die 47 times before breakfast, you got to be more
When
than
a
a little
round
wacky.
is 3 seconds instead of 6.
Yeah, yeah. So you can get more death in a minute. So
Well, yep. Well then, Jet is going to set up the Semtex with a little bit of an accelerator, just to really make it into something of a bunker buster. But he's
Yes.
setting it up to try and make sure everything blows up and
Yep.
a little back
okay, so into the forest or
into the forest.
Okay.
Yeah, or up it, I guess, down into the forest, so not
I got
towards
you.
the helicopter and the mechanic. And
right.
once
So
again,
yeah.
I'm
if
just
we're going to
gonna-
do this, we're doing everything we can to make sure innocent people aren't harmed. That's
Absolutely. So let's draw a big arrow.
That
Kinda
way.
More or
Yep.
less, that's the way you want that to blow. Okay.
Yep.
Feedback helps by spraying accelerant on the tapestry.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's I said the bio tapestry, and I knew I shouldn't have. It's a series of like cuttings from newspapers and photos, and
Oh,
It's
even
like-
better.
yeah, it's all
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
all framed. It's all museum quality lighting in here. Yeah.
on the stalker.
This is
shrine.
a
Yeah.
stalker's hole. It's just
Yeah.
this is a multi-billionaire stalker, right? These two have been hunting each other in one form or another for 5 centuries. This has been
Yeah,
going on, right? This is beyond personal. This isn't even need anymore. This is like genetically wired into their beings, right? This has got to
Yeah,
come to
at
an
this
end now.
point, Feedback's like commenting on like some of the news articles. You
Yep.
know, what a
Yeah.
fucking stupid haircut. You know,
Yeah.
who wears a shirt like that?
Now, you did mention putting explosives on the statue. Was that going to be part of this?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Just thinking a
just-
big block of Semtex right on the
Right.
crotch.
Right on his. Well, this is of Harlequin. The statue is of Harlequin.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So she.
So like
Either
with,
way,
down,
but
but
yeah.
between the feet, then.
Yeah.
So we can get like a Harlequin statue rocket
Oh,
going.
up to, yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. As of right now, they're wearing a large voluminous skirt to make that possible. So yes,
Perfect. I love it.
explosives underneath it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, then we're done here. Let's hustle back and get out of the stable.
And as you turn to leave this room, it's where we're going to drop the curtain on this evening because it is 8:00. So,
I was like,
yeah, he's waiting. What are we going to shoot? What do I got to shoot?
Yeah.
So, yes, you turn to walk out of this now wired for sound room, ready to go, just kaboom, boom, boom, all over the forest, and realize it's not only personal now, this is for real. There's real killers up there on the grounds waiting for you. There's only 2 of you, and you're not even started this mission.
For next week.
And that is where we will drop the curtain on this week. Whew.
Once the show's done.
Massive thank yous to YouTube, because it's hard enough to pull off a game with 4 players and a GM, but 2 players and a GM going through a whole bunch of stuff like we just did. That was not a light episode at all. So I am really impressed. There was zero empty space left open. There was nothing missed. You guys moved the plot along. That was just bang, bang, bang. That was great role play. Thank you both very, very much for that. Whew, that was tiring. Thank you to everybody in chat. You guys were amazing tonight. Special double thanks to Kalina because, oops. Everybody else, thank you so much. And please don't ever ban Kalina. Oh, man. And thank you to all the people on YouTube in the future. You have no idea what I was talking about because I don't have chat up and you can't see it. But if you watched all the way to here, please hit the like button because I'm going to assume you did. And that just takes us to the big finish, the big end. Until next time, which is tonight is only tomorrow night. Until then, please continue to be nice to each other. Good night.
Bye.